Hi everyone, so I've made my 3 print advert responses to the brief. I think if I wasn't trying to wrap this up in just one day, I might give it a little bit more time. There was a lot of opportunity to do intertextual references that I've sort of not done, as I say, especially with that idea of a journey with the commuter one. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, go back to my planning for the storyboard video and have a quick look at that. But there's a lot of fun to be had with this. I have been very literal with my response to the brief, but what I'd like to show you now are the finished adverts, what they look like, and also how I'm going to check it. So first of all, just to remind you that oh, hello, that's really quite frustrating. When you're using these videos, you should really be using them in conjunction with this PowerPoint, which is available for free to download online. And basically the idea is that you can work your way through each slide and it will just give you that information, how to break it down. And so up until this point, we've had the brief, we've deconstructed it, we've explored it, we've looked at codes and conventions, and we've researched, we've created our statement of intent by planning and creating our storyboards. This was our original storyboard. We've selected the equipment and we've planned our 30 words, and then we've gone and got the footage and we've edited the footage, and we're now up to this stage. And the idea is that you should be really checking what you've produced before you submit it to your teacher and having a real look at where the points are. And if you follow this link, you can get to this website, which is basically AQA. It's completely free, you don't have to be a teacher to look at it, it's public forum, but it's got the marking criteria, and this is what the moderators will be using when they moderate your work. Your teacher will use this to mark it, and so will the moderators. So why not have a little sneaky look yourself and just check if you think that you have made the brief. So that's all about the statement of intent. And then we've got media language, and if we look here, excellent application of media language, so combination of elements to communicate meanings, and an excellent compelling product that constructs an effective narrative. So that's what you need to have to be in the top marks, and of course things like intertextuality. The next one then is representation, and that here is understanding how to subvert stereotypes or use stereotypes in order to make it relatable to the audience or the genre, and an excellent use of media representations to communicate clear meanings of like settings and expectations. And then finally you've got the big one. This is 20 marks for the actual overall product. Now this bit's really important. Meets all the requirements of the brief. This is where the minimum requirements of the brief are absolutely vital, because if you don't meet every single one of the minimum requirements, then you're not in this band, no matter what. So it's a big deal. That excellent product, and essentially it engages the audience, it's well produced, it's well edited. Okay, so let's have a look. We've got here the actual brief itself, 3 print adverts for the launch of a new radio station to encourage people in a local area, and it's teenagers through to the elderly. The 3 groups were teenagers, young adults, adults listening whilst commuting, and retired people. And each advert had to have a house style, an original title and logo, a narrative situation featuring 1 character, 6 original images in total, including a different dominant image in each advertisement. I just went for 2 images at least in each one. I think I've got more than that. And also I believe your logo can count as an original image. Check with your NEA advisor, but on past NEAs it has done. Original copies, these were your words, 30 words, and an appropriate choice of font. Okay, so let's have a look at our adverts and see how we think we've got on. So we'll start off with teenagers. Now you can see just from the thumbnails that the house style is there because I've used the same size, design and layout, colour palette, and the logos and all of that stuff is exactly the same. Okay, I don't quite know how to get rid of this bit. There we are. So I changed a few things since you last checked in, but here's the teenager. We've got a bit of intertextuality to Batman, reading a comic, and the setting and mise-en-scène is there to sort of imply that this is a teenager listening to music. So the narrative situation is clear. They're reading a comic whilst listening to music. I've got my DJ, so the mise-en-scène is evident of the DJ. And as you know, I used a face app to make myself look a bit young and trendy in order to apply to that. So I've got the frequency. I've got a call to arms, make some waves, which is a sort of a play on words about the blue moon and radio waves. So we've got the logo there, plenty of connotations in the logo. I won't go through them. Go back and look at the logo video to find them out. Got my 30 words with a bit of persuasive techniques. So make sure you tune in. So I'm using that persuasive language. Get the latest new music from Anton King. Live music and interviews from the latest chart toppers. So I'm using persuasive language, and I'm also playing on the need to be informed and entertained. And I've got some social media icons just to say it's ready. I could have put a website there as well, like www.bluemoonfm.co.uk or something. That would be quite a good thing to add in. I didn't, but oh well. Let's have a look at the next one. So we'll go to the commute. Okay, so all of this is exactly the same. The only thing that's different are the words and the images. I chose to let this image go underneath some of these, but overlay these, basically because I thought it made it look a bit more dynamic by covering some of the icons, but having this as being more important and at the forefront. And what we've got is we've got our commuter driving out, bright sunshine coming in, empty roads, which is very sort of idealistic for a commuter. I've put the radio frequency on the screen there. So I've met all of the briefs. At least two images. I've got at least one character. The narrative situation of commuting is very clear. I've used techniques of persuasion, brightening your morning commute and guiding you home every week. Rebecca Stillman will get you to work with the latest updates, guide you to your front door at 4 till 5. I could have made more of an effort, if I'm honest, to even this text out and make it a little bit nicer and a bit more dynamic. But as I say, I'm on a time schedule to get these videos out to you guys, so I've decided to leave it there. I also did a little bit of editing. I darkened this image to make it look more like it was late evening, so that it was very clear that you've got the morning and the home, and of course the mise-en-scène. So I was wearing the shirt and all of that. To find out more about all of the things I did for these photos to get the right photo, go back to the photograph video where you find out the choices I've made to get the right outfit, the right costume and so on. Okay, female presenter, just to get a bit of diversion in there so that it wasn't all just pictures of me. So yeah, my wife very kindly offered to just basically take a selfie for me. Okay, and then we've got the retired. So this is me acting as all the characters in this, again using a bit of face app to just age myself. So all of this is exactly the same, house style very clear. Techniques of persuasion, tired of not having your say, got an opinion worth hearing, join Tom Dillon on The Daily Show, the only show that takes the current affairs and puts the world to rights. And this is playing on the need for social interaction and the need for entertainment and for them to be able to relate to people. And so I used a face app to make myself look a little bit older here. I put my glasses on to make myself look a little bit more formal. And on this one I wore the oldest sort of trendy fisherman sort of jumper I had. And of course this is a nod to the teenager advert. So rather than having the old man sort of sat there with an old-fashioned radio reading a paper, I decided to put the headphones on and read a comic to subvert stereotypes of old people. So that was intentional really, so it was a bit of a callback to the teenager and the old person having something in common. Okay, so there's my decisions made there. 3 adverts for a local radio station, the codes and conventions, so the size of the advert, the colours I've used, the design and layout, the style, it's all been deliberate. I meet every single one of these points. Technically I think it's quite good. I think I'd be hard pressed not to be in the top band for media language and for media representation. Of course there's always ways you can challenge stereotypes if you like. In terms of the overall product, I'd be in the top band, but I wouldn't be full marks. I need to spend more time on my words here, getting them nice and even, and I could probably spend a little bit more time really making this look quite stylish and dynamic. And again, intertextuality. Apart from the Batman comic, I really dropped the ball on this one. I could have made much more of an effort for this kind of idea of going on a journey and having more references to other media texts. But it's not all about intertextuality, it's not the be all and end all. This is still a top marks product. So good luck, and I hope that you guys enjoy doing your print-based media product. It is a lot of fun. I think it's easier than the moving image. You just have to get those good still pictures. Me and my son had quite a lot of fun sort of going out and taking countless photographs of all the different poses, messing around with FaceApp to make myself look young and to make myself look old. So it was quite good fun, so I enjoyed this one. Right, so good luck.